The strongest being in the Imperium is without a doubt the Emperor. He's probably the closest mortal, if you could even call him that, towards becoming a god. His feats are numerous, his influence has spread across the stars, and even in this half-death state, he continues to be a force of hope for all of humanity. Being alive for tens of thousands of years grants you untold knowledge as well as fighting skills. He is an expert swordsman, as can be seen when he battled, or should I say massacred, thousands of orcs. His sword was a blue steel shimmer, too fast to follow with the naked eye. He moved through the orcs without seeming to move at all, simply existing at one point to kill before appearing elsewhere to reap green-skinned lives by the score. Each blow struck with the force of an artillery blast, and shattered bodies of the orcs flew wherever he was. His flaming sword, however, wasn't his only weapon, as he also utilized his modified lightning claw. His outstretched gauntlet blazed white gold fire that blew apart his enemies into explosions of red cinders and ash. The massive gauntlet battered orcs to boneless globs with each punch. Now his true strength lies not in his sword and gauntlet, but in his psychic abilities. For with metal and bolt, he became a whirlwind of death, but with his warp powers, he's an unstoppable maelstrom that none can even hope to diminish. He crushed the orcs with invisible coils of force, and repelled their gunfire with mere thoughts that turned their rounds to smoke. And to add to these were also super orcs from Goro, Primarch-sized orcs, huge, hulking, tough, behemoth primal orcs. Think of it as a horde of Ghazghkull Mag-Uruk Thrakas fighting against the Emperor. Yeah, that's how powerful he was. Now another feat of his strength, and probably the strongest opponent that the Emperor has fought, was against the Dragon of Mars. This dragon also goes by another name, the Void Dragon, the ancient Catan. This star god devoured the very stars of old, and it was capable of decimating entire civilizations and worlds. Later, these Catan would be known as mere weapons of war for the Necrons. Now, most Catans that we see are fractions, mere shards of their former selves, and they're still feared and utilized to this day. But in the past, when the Emperor fought against the Void Dragon, we can only assume that he was fighting this godlike being at its strongest, and the Emperor won. He then used this body of the machine god to essentially bring Mars and their cult of technology to compliance and become allies with Terra and humanity. Now I should mention another feat of his strength that, in my opinion, is less than taking on the Void Dragon, but still a very important feat, and that is the slaying of Horus Lupercal, the Emperor's favorite son. For upon the vengeful spirit, the Primarch Horus had already killed his brother Primarch Sanguinius, and he was empowered by all four of the Chaos Gods. He was essentially a mere puppet to them. The Emperor did try to save him, but ultimately he had no choice but to slay him and eradicate his soul entirely so that the Chaos Gods could not use him again. He was able to grant immortality to his saints, such as Saint Celestine. He is capable of shape-shifting and traversing Tzeentch's labyrinth. If you don't know, basically, he turned into a little girl and a dog, walked into Tzeentch's labyrinth, and basically just said, hey, even a little girl can best your labyrinth, so it's not that hard. And then lastly, he forced the entire 100,000 legion of the Word-Bearers to kneel with a mere wave of his psychic invisible force. So the Emperor is a badass. He's capable of commanding 100,000 Space Marines without even batting an eye. The dude can literally heal wounds, repair machines, like there's nothing he can't do. And honestly, with that kind of power, it leads me to believe that even him sitting on the throne, he still has a purpose, and he is still probably one of the strongest fighters and people in the Imperium currently. Now just imagine how much stronger he would become if he does ascend to godhood. Would he become stronger than the Chaos Gods? Would he be strong enough to keep humanity safe when all these Xenos, heretics, and demons are at humanity's throat? Perhaps. But again, we might get some more insight on that when these Horus Heresy novels come to a close. Honestly, when it comes to the Emperor, he's one of my favorites to talk about, because you can almost say anything about him, and it could be right. He is flawed, however. He did mess up by not telling the Primarchs about Chaos. He did choose a pretty shitty way to save one of his Primarch sons, Angron. Like, he could have saved him and his gladiators instead of leaving them all to die. So say what you want about the Emperor, he can be as strong as, the next guy, but what good is strength if you're just a bad dad at the end of the day? I mean, think about it. He ignored Magnus's psychic plea to basically prevent the whole Horus Heresy. I mean, the list goes on, but whatever you want to say about him, he is pretty interesting. Maybe all of these were on purpose. Maybe these things did need to happen to ensure humanity's survival and future prosperity. But regardless, if you want a more satirical look into how the Emperor can be resurrected from his golden throne, I greatly recommend you guys check out this video here, because it's pretty hilarious and I did it quite a while ago and it's probably still one of my favorite videos that I've done. Now, just in case you're some heretic scum who doesn't know who our Lord and Savior, the Emperor, is, I'll give you a glimpse into the most epic tale ever told. Now revel in its excellence. For tens of thousands of years, he has served humanity both in the shadows and out in the open, always pushing humans towards their rightful path, one upon the path of science and not religion. Now, many can say that the Emperor is the main reason why the Imperium is still here today. He was created by the sacrifice of powerful shamans, and he is the reason that Terra overcame the Age of Strife. He created the Thunder Warriors, the Primarchs, and the Space Marines, all to be the defenders of humanity, the warriors that will make his reality come true, and that is to become a unified humanity across the stars. This God Emperor has fought against none other than the Void Dragon, allegedly. He also greatly bolstered the Imperium by allying with the Martian Adeptus Mechanicus. Now, the Great Crusade was an era where he liberated thousands of human-controlled worlds and brought them into Imperial fold, thus making their lives so much better than what they used to be. And as the cherry on top, he kinda runs the Astronomicon, aka the Warp Lighthouse, that allows astropaths to navigate the crazy chaoticness of the warp, and so much more. Now, as you can see, he is perfection incarnate. He can do no wrong, as long as you ignore his xenophobia, his favoritism towards Horus, the crowning of Horus as War Master, ignoring the visions of Conrad Kurz, ignoring Magnus's pleas, not informing his Primarchs of his doings and plans, especially the Webway project. Magnus did nothing wrong. Allowing Sanguinius to die, allowing himself to almost die at Horus's hand, not warning the Primarchs of Chaos. So yeah, as you can see, we need the Emperor of Mankind alive to once again lead humanity to prosperity, just like he did in the 30th millennium. With all these examples of his glory and his true judgment, I too believe in the Emperor just as much as this woman believes in her shirt buttons. But enough about the Emperor, let's talk about the top 3 ways to resurrect this awesome, shiny boy. Number 3. Reliving the past. That's right, guys. It was done once and it will be done again. Simply put, to revive the Emperor, we must round up the 12 strongest psychers and sacrifice them to the Emperor, just like the 12 shamans from days past. Like I said, it worked in the past, why not do it again? If it's not broke, don't stop doing it. So, this is what I would do. Bring in Eldrad, Drago, Tigurius, Magnus, Ahriman, Mia Khalifa, the bunny from Donnie Darko, Jackie Chan, this guy, Mephiston, Gilliman, and Sly Marbo. And boom, there you have it. This, honestly, has to do the trick. These are the strongest psychers in the known universe. So if this won't work, well, that's just gonna really suck, because I'm really gonna miss Jackie. Number 2, the Kroot. Now, as we all know by now, the Kroot can gain the memories and characteristics of whatever they consume. Contrary to popular belief, it does take generations to fully adopt these favorable traits of their meal upon their physique and physiology. So therefore, the Emperor would have to be made into kind of a jerky, or maybe even a paste. Some might say add some teriyaki on him, and voila! Tweet that out to Gordon Ramsay, so we can rate your Emperor a la souffle over easy with oregano and a dash of paprika. And there you have it. In maybe 1-2 generations, we'll have a brand new Emperor, albeit one kind of Krooty. But hey, a Krooty Emperor is better than no Emperor. And finally, we come to our number 1. Death. We have to kill him. The poor guy has been half dead for over 10,000 years now. Give him up to death's sweet, sweet embrace. He's done so much for humanity, let him rest. Yeah, we'll lose the Astronomicon, but at least the Tyranids won't be heading straight for Terra. Oh wait, the horrors of the Warp will finally be able to invade the Holy Land. Hey, tomatoes, tomatoes, am I right? However, we do have hope still, and that hope is him being a perpetual. I mean, how else could Vulcan get this trait from his father? I mean, it should only take a few moments for him to regenerate after death, right? I mean, yeah, within those few moments, the horrors of the warp and chaos will rain down death and destruction on the poor, innocent lives that dwell upon Terra. But hey, this is a small price to pay. I mean, the Emperor will be coming back, right? So what if it does take a few more than just a few moments? I mean, hey, he might even be reincarnated into a baby. Or maybe his reincarnation might take a millennia. It's the thought that counts, right? As long as we get the Emperor back in one piece, I'm all for it. And those were the top 3 ways to resurrect the Emperor. I told you number 2 was shocking. But in all seriousness, guys, I actually am working on a top 3 ways to bring back the Emperor to humanity and to once again make him become the one true hope for all humankind. Yeah, I just wanted to throw this little gag video out there because as many ways as there is to bring back the Emperor, there's a lot of ways that are just really goofy but actually could end up happening. Honestly, the whole shaman thing, that was how he was created, and some theories say that will be another way as to how he will come back. I doubt it though. I think GW will use other means that pertain more to the story than just say, yeah, 12 shamans, 12 of the strongest psychers, bring them in. I know that won't happen because if you do put in the 12 strongest psychers to sacrifice, then boom, you've just lost 12 characters that you won't be able to make new models for, flesh out their story, and at the end of the day, yeah, you'll get the Emperor back, but it's not worth it, not in my mind. Number 2, of course, I had to bring back the meme of what would happen if they Kroot ate the Emperor. And again, you'll get a weird, malformed Kroot Emperor hybrid, but yeah, that's not gonna happen. And number 1 was actually the most logical out of the 3 that I presented in this little gag video, because, I mean, if he is a perpetual, which I want to say it's been confirmed, I can't 100% say that for sure, but if he is a perpetual, his death should lead him to resurrect, or to at least come back in a way as to where he's not bound to the Golden Throne, and therefore once again try to lead the Imperium instead of just being, hanging on by a thread, powering the Astronomicon. So again, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this little video. If not, I completely understand. But again, I will be bringing you the true top 3 ways to bring the Emperor back. Hopefully next week. Again, I'm still fleshing out it. I'm still trying to give good examples and whatnot. So if you guys have your own ways as to how you think the Emperor will be coming back, let us know down below. Whether it's funny, whether it's exactly how you planned everything out from the beginning. Let me know your tinfoil stories down below. So as always, I am the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll be catching you guys tomorrow.